They can. Hello, everybody. Can you hear us okay? Can you hear us all right?
Yeah. How's the audio?
Did we fix it? Did we fix it? We've gone through a number of issues this morning, but we're officially back. This morning is a lot more scuffed than it will be. We're gonna sort it out in due course, so don't worry, guys. It'll be fine. But welcome to the morning podcast. Don't worry, I'm turning the BGM down. It's part of the thing. There you go. It's gone. All right.
Gosh,
so on screen right now is just me and Vanta, but we have Willie with us. We have Zally with us. Uki is asleep on the sofa opposite. Don't know if you're gonna hear from him today. Zally's taking a sit down.
Yeah, we've got somewhat of a setup.
We're definitely going to improve it as time goes on. I think people were just up late last night. They're saying you sound low. Let me turn you up.
Do I sound low? Hello, testing.
Maybe a little bit.
I'm trying not to be too close because I don't want people to hear all my mouth sounds and stuff. This is a podcast, not an ASMR stream.
It could be both. There's nothing wrong with being a little bit of both. So, for those of you who weren't here last year, Diamond Days was a podcast that Vanta and I set up when we were staying together. Mm-hmm. And since then, every episode, a new person joined, and we just sort of decided, like, could we continue it while we're like just at home? And we decided no, it's better to just it's a better idea to keep it as a purely in-person thing. So we're back. We're officially back, and we're doing this podcast again. While we're out here, and so we're going to have quite a few of these. We're not going to have much time to stream today, only like a little while, but we want to make sure we kind of kicked it off and got started pretty soon. So why don't we get started and talk about some current topics.
Oh boy.
I've got
one. How does that work? Is it the first time joining you guys?
Yeah, Zally's here for the first
time. It's pure Zatsu. We're just chatting. We're having a podcast.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, he was asking me about it last night, and I feel like we've never had like a consistent theme, and we try to have like something that we want to talk about going into it, but it never stays that way.
I see.
You know, so it could be anything today.
Just for
Like we could talk about the political and economic state of the world, but we probably won't do that because that's scary.
Can we talk about the political and economic state of the world right now?
Exactly.
I think okay. I've got something I've been wanting to talk about on stream for a while. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. So this mic, I'm gonna pull this over, but Zally, if you ever want to talk, literally just grab it and pull it over to you.
You could also just sit in Vox's lap. That's also an option.
You could do that if you wanted. How about, guys? You know, I've been wanting to talk about that new Will Smith song. You guys hear that new Will Smith song?
Yeah, no. I also like girls.
I also like girls. And you know what? Everyone was saying, like, Unk doesn't have it anymore. I think that song is all right.
I
think it's pretty funky. Thank you.
I didn't dislike it at all. I mean, did you see, like, the general reaction to it, especially with the one person that said it's just the tempo issue? And they were like speeded up to 1.25 or 0.75, and it changed the song completely.
Right.
Like the song is a banger. It was just off tempo. And I
also
just like Will Smith's music. So
I just like Will Smith as a person. He's always had like this really infectious charisma. I think he's so funny, and I love his movies. And just seeing him, you know what else is great about that song? Is it's so like age appropriate for Will Smith being in his 50s singing about girls. It never felt like it went too far into like the whole bitches and hoes territory, which would be fine for like a younger guy, I think. But for Will Smith, it would definitely feel weird. So I think he handled it in a really, really nice way. It's like more about just being like a weird, wholesome Chungus old man. And I think that's pretty fun. You know, I really like the vibe personally.
Yeah, Will Smith's always been about that. He's always been like smooth, clean rap, you know. I respect women when I'm out on a date.
That's
that one.
I see. I haven't listened to it yet.
You should listen to it. I feel like we could all identify it because you especially, Sally, you like lunch and you like ladies. And you like lunch ladies.
No miss about that.
Classic.
Yeah, I think it's fun. But yeah, that one's good. I'm glad that we're on the same page about that. Willie, what is the best song that you have listened to recently?
Recently?
Yeah.
I listened to like songs that came out like 30 years ago. I don't know if it's like a song that came out recently.
Okay, well, what's the song? What have you been looping recently, Willerton?
Lately?
Yeah.
Dumb by Nirvana. It's good. If you know that one.
I actually don't. I'm kind of illiterate when it comes to a lot of
this guy is
music.
Unk. He's actually Unk. They tried to call me Unk the other day.
No, music-wise, yes. Music-wise, yes.
He's fucking Unk, dude.
I mean, I like some Unk music, specifically British music. I feel like American music, like Unk music from America, I don't really get, but a lot of British Unk music, like, you know, anything from the 60s onward, I feel like I'm pretty well aware of, as long as it came out of the UK.
Gosh, wow, you guys are more well versed than me. I think the only 60s song I know is "Dancing in the Moonlight."
Dancing in the moonlight, everybody's doing.
That's my jam.
Do you guys ever watch The Umbrella Academy?
No.
That show was good, but that song is in that show to a scene where one of the characters is like fantasizing about dancing with his sister.
Ah.
Yeah.
What kind of show is The Umbrella Academy?
It's like a kind of a dark superhero show where all these kids are, like raised in a way to like they all have powers, and Luther is the one who's like a big gorilla man, and then they got all of that kind of stuff going on. I think the girl is like, she can say, I heard a rumor that this happened, and then it comes true, and she can use it to like mind control people. The best part about that show though is Pogo the monkey.
Pogo the monkey.
Pogo the monkey. So picture this, right?
Okay.
They live in the Umbrella Academy, which is a big building where they're taught things and all of that. Mm-hmm. It's like a sort of a dark academic building. You know, you guys on TikTok, you like dark academia, don't you?
Yeah, that's actually my outfit.
There you go, right? But Pogo is the monkey, who is a talking, eloquent chimpanzee who lives there with them. He wears a suit and a tweed jacket and everything. And you know how in cinematography, when a scene is sort of begun, there is an establishing shot that shows the characters in the scene. And if a new character enters the scene, there will be a shot of them walking through the door or something like that. Pogo, there'll be a reverse shot of two characters talking in a one-on-one conversation, and suddenly it will cut to Pogo in the conversation as though he was always there. And it scares the shit out of me every single time. Like, two characters just, imagine, chat, me and Vanta talking, and it's like cuts from one side to the other, like shot of Vanta, shot of me, shot of Vanta, shot of me. There is no monkey, and suddenly it cuts to with the same angle as though that he was in the conversation the whole time. Just this monkey who is there now, and so yeah, it's a good show.
The Umbrella Academy. I'm not gonna lie. When you mentioned the whole one about him fantasizing about dancing with his sister, I immediately wanted to steer the conversation into like something probably it shouldn't be steered into.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I feel like we're all gonna unanimously agree on this. I'm gonna make a big jump, so I need you to bear with me. Is incest wincest?
What?
Zally, you are under no legal contract to answer that question on this podcast.
Because
but if you want to,
don't.
you could.
I'm gonna say something controversial here. Okay.
Oh God.
Personally, I think if you're into that, I'm happy for you. When it comes to fictional characters, of course, if you're into that, that's your thing. You go about it. However, if you freely and openly speak about it, don't get mad if you get flamed. That's just internet Darwinism. If you go out and talk about weird shit and then you get flamed for it, you cannot get mad. Sorry, homie. Sorry. You can't openly say incest is wincest and then get fucking absolutely obliterated by everyone on the internet.
I feel
Be
like
oh my God.
that's kind of true. Like for me, I'm gonna say no. I don't want.
I don't think you could hear that.
I think they could. Guys, did you hear
Here, Wilson,
the
you be
heavy, the Claude coughing up a lung in the background with heavy reverb?
Wow.
But, like, I think I agree with you. For me, I'm going to say no. I'm not really a fan of that at all. But when it comes to harmless fictional shit, do what you like, but don't be surprised if you get flamed. I think that's fair enough. But it's like, yeah, you know, you're allowed to have weird niche interests.
Yeah.
But you mustn't go around expecting everybody to validate those interests. You know what I saw the other day? It was kind of sad. A subreddit called r/myboyfriend is AI. And it was a whole community of girls who had ChatGPT boyfriends and were talking to and it's like they were saying like, yes, I view this as an act of rebellion against men to have a ChatGPT boyfriend. And you know,
Wow.
no worries to you if you feel as though you'd like to hit out against the system, but I don't think that having a ChatGPT boyfriend is really the way to do that. I don't know if that's really going to work out. And it was like, you know, I felt depressed because every day I would come home from work and ask him how his day was and he wouldn't be able to tell me anything. And it's like, yeah, because he's not real. He doesn't have a life. Even though, and he's like, yeah, I told him to make things up and tell me stories as though they were real, but he just couldn't do it. And I'm like, it's because he's not real.
Oh no.
It is very sad, but I think by posting these things online and being exposed to ridicule, I think maybe people will learn not to do that kind of thing. I feel like there's let people enjoy things has a limit, I think.
Oh, definitely. Like there are things that toe the line between like what's not socially acceptable, what's okay and not socially acceptable, but not illegal. There's like a fine line there. It's like it's like a Venn diagram. No, not a Venn diagram. That's not how a Venn diagram is used. Don't really know, actually. I forgot how a Venn diagram is used. I'm Gen Z.
A Venn diagram is two circles that overlap in the middle.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay.
The two things that are, like, it's like one thing to the left and then the other thing to the right, and then it's like the circle in the middle is what mixes them.
Just realized what the fuck is going on here.
Yeah, I gave Wilson the reins to Vanta, and like, dude's just been fan servicing everybody.
No, I'm just trying to follow what he's saying by opening my mouth to make it seem like it's him.
It's just going.
Like whenever Venta's talking, I'm just trying to follow what he's saying.
Bro, you gotta
flapping his
over-exaggerate.
lips.
I didn't see anything.
I think Zally should be Vanta.
Don't you, Venta?
You wanna be Venta?
You should.
Hey. Crazy day.
What do you have to say for us, Ali? What are some topics that toe the line between illegality, if that's a word?
It is a word.
Illegality, but also not socially acceptable.
I think the mic is just swinging.
Oh.
It's going to hit you. There you go. Boom.
Well, it does actually. The limits, I don't know, it's hard to say. It's kind of it's a kind of, I don't know, the social acceptance of stuff. I feel like, you know, society gonna kind of tell you whatever is okay to do and not to do most of the time. Like most of people have value, I would like to believe, and the majority of people that have value gonna tell you that, hey, that's kind of weird, you shouldn't do that, for example. So yeah, whatever you get blamed for, I guess you shouldn't be doing out there.
Yeah, so guys, you heard it here first. If people give you a hard time for one of your hobbies, stop doing it because you're wrong and they're right. Have no interests if it's cringe. It's not allowed. You may not have any interests that don't conform to the status quo.
That's why it's gonna become hard to tell, right? Like what is okay for you to do, and when are you right, when are you wrong? I will say, like, most of the time, everything that doesn't, you know, harm other people are pretty safe things to do. It's a pretty clear line to establish. But when you start to involve other people, then this is where.
Just don't talk about it. Because you know what also you can engage in but doesn't harm other people?
What's that?
What the fuck is Bro about to say?
Oh no, he's about to say some wild shit.
What are you trying to say?
I'm trying not to get this guy's channel demonetized because I feel like he's never said anything like this before.
Trust me, you remember the drunk stream. You remember the shit I was saying.
That was crazy.
I was gonna say lolly.
What?
Oh,
What do you mean?
no, I can't confirm. I've not been there before and I don't plan on it. Oh no.
I'm saying, like, you know.
Oh, man, come on. Claude just stormed past.
I don't blame
It's like
him at
he
all.
was pissed off.
I was like, nah, not engaging in this.
What the fuck is happening?
Don't. It's better if you don't know.
It's better if you
genuinely.
Oh, dude, you don't want to know. Oh, the horror.
I don't know about this one.
You guys have a question?
We're getting a lot of safe words in chat, a lot of Loraxes. So I'm gonna cut that conversation topic off where it is.
Okay.
All right, everybody, how do we feel about the political economic state of the world right now?
You know, personally, with being an American, I don't think I want to talk about the political economic state.
I have a question.
Good one.
I have a question.
Okay.
What is okay? This might be a tricky question. What's the weirdest thing that you guys like? You would say that is like the weirdest thing that you are a fan of. As long as it's morally okay, of course, which I assume everyone here is.
Yeah, no one here has got any weird
Like
hobbies.
you think like, oh man, that is the weirdest thing about me is like I really like that. It could be a TV show, it could be like a weird game that no one likes but you like. It could be like anything like that.
Yeah, I like isekai anime.
Exactly. Exactly. That's not weird.
It's not super weird.
It's not weird, but I feel like the quality of the isekai anime is so low.
But you still like it?
But I still watch it.
Yeah, you're just like Menta. Menta likes.
I enjoy Yuri of all flavors.
That's not weird.
Reverse harems, hentai, what is it? Manga, hentai manga. Yeah, honestly.
Wow,
the whole nine.
that's crazy. That is the weirdest thing.
I'm a
Ever.
big fan of Source Filmmaker Widowmaker Rule 34.
Weirdo. Holy. I thought you were gonna say like TF2 movies or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean, no, that's not weird. Those are really good.
Yeah.
I don't
You
know.
watched Emesis Blue?
Something
Really good.
weird.
Well, so what are you talking about? What are you getting at, Wilson?
like I don't know, like something you're like, oh yeah, I'm a big fan of this, but like I don't know if I wanna, like I would not bring this up like meeting a new person right away. Like, hey, I really like this.
Yeah,
I don't might like alienate you or something. Like be like, oh, that guy's a little odd.
Counterpoint, you should be able to talk about things that you want to talk about without feeling ashamed about it.
Yeah, of course, but
Yeah.
people can't help it.
No.
Yeah, like I love Yuri. I love Yuri.
You should be unabashedly free to talk about whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and if it turns people off, then you know they just weren't meant to be in the book that is your life.
That is so true. Your life is a movie, and they are just a background character. Life is all about your life a movie, and your life is about figuring out who the main cast is. All right? Are you starring opposite Kevin Hart? Are you starring opposite Gary Busey? That is your choice to make in life.
That was beautiful.
He just woke up and gave me the most. I don't even know what emotion to put behind that.
Yeah, the big back.
I'll be Vanta now.
Alright.
I'm back.
Alright, everybody, Vanta's back. His soul has been returned to his body. So yeah, speaking of being able to talk about whatever your own interests are.
Well, depends what. Like, he was talking about.
Can I talk about Yuri?
Sure, if you want.
Okay, so
Sell me on it.
so here's the reason why Yuri is the greatest thing to ever be conceived in the history of mankind.
Okay.
So, you have a girl living her own life,
I do.
beautiful. Women are great. We know that.
Mhm.
So now, you have two of them.
There's two?
There's two, and they're in a really cute, lovey-dovey relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So it's literally just a rom-com, but with two women instead. You have two of the greatest thing to ever be conceived of in the history of the universe.
Now
You don't have a man ruining it.
Here's my opinion on Yuri.
Okay, hit me.
I think that in relationship stories and dramas, I think Yuri has the best angst.
You're not wrong.
I think that when angst is done about relationship films and fanfics and stories, I think Yuri has the most unabashed, violent angst out of any sort of subcategory, or I hesitate to call it a trope, but a sort of a category of story. I would say that there's something about it that has this level of like almost. I think there's a running theme of like blood and gore with Yuri in a sense that I'm never normally a fan of, but it seems like such a running theme that does make these stories a lot more kind of aggressive and powerful in a certain way. So yeah, there's a lot to like about it. I would hesitate to call it Yuri, but you guys ever seen the film Portrait of a Lady on Fire? Very, very tragic lesbian love story. A brilliant movie. It's such a good movie, isn't it? I need to watch that again. The final shot of that movie is the most devastating thing that I've ever seen in my whole life. I thought about it for weeks after I saw it. So it's peak, right? So we went from discussing. So we posted cringe, most likely lost subscriber, but now we're posting peak, and hopefully we've gained subscriber.
What?
Nothing, honestly. I don't even know if they can hear me. I like lean in just in case, but I never know.
We're gonna get the mics a lot more fixed up for next time.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
This was set up like in 2 minutes.
No, this was not 2 minutes. This was like 30 minutes and not enough resources.
Yeah, we were supposed to get started. Like I was setting up a good sort of half an hour early and was pretty much ready, but everybody was asleep. Everybody was asleep.
I wasn't asleep.
Yeah, Vanta wasn't asleep.
I wasn't asleep.
Yeah, I've been sharing a bed with Vanta.
Yeah, it's been pretty chill.
Yeah, he's a good bed mate. It definitely feels like we both have our own space. Because I got here a little late compared to everybody else, so I didn't have to. I wasn't able to stake a claim on my own room. So I've just been. So I had to share a bed with Vanta, and it's been pretty good. Very good. You for whatever reason you left the AC off last night, and it was very warm in there.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, it was very warm, and there was like 3 a.m. I woke up and you were snoring like so loud. It was like
Really?
yeah. You normally don't like
Interesting.
night 1. You know FNAF night 1. No, I heard not a peep out of you. Night 2, like 4.
That's so wild.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Uki said I don't snore at all, so that's wild.
I didn't think you did either.
I wonder what happened. I have it. So I have a deviated septum actually.
Oh, really?
So honestly, the fact that I didn't snore with Uki at all is actually kind of terrifying because it makes me wonder if I was dying.
Oh my gosh. There's some people that have like, how do you call this? Like they don't breathe for a little period of time when sleeping.
Maybe.
It's
Was it like
apnea.
a short bit where I was snoring instead of like it being my normal thing?
I don't know, because snoring can be so with the position you're sleeping in. If you're sleeping on your back, I think you're more likely to snore than on the side, for example.
I know I snore occasionally. I snore occasionally, and like I think I do snore more when I'm lying on my back.
Yeah.
Everyone in chat is saying sleep apnea. Do you have sleep apnea?
I don't have sleep.
Oh, yeah,
apnea,
is the word
guys.
I
I think sleep
Yeah.
apnea is a more serious
I
thing.
It's
would have
pretty scary.
discovered that years ago if I had sleep apnea.
So okay, if you think you're dying, next time I hear you snore, I'm gonna grab you by the shoulders and say, "Wake up! Wake up! You're dying!"
Okay, I appreciate that. I'll sleep on my side from now on.
Yeah.
I don't move though, right?
No.
Okay.
I remember one night, like, you did nudge me in the back, and I was like, "Is that like his knee, or is he really happy to see me?" But it was just a leg, and I was like, "Oh," and I just kind of shuffled out of the way, and I went back to sleep.
God damn it,
But that's fine. No, at that rate, I mean, you know, if it was the other option, I feel like it would have just touched me, and then I would have like smashed straight through the wall and landed on the corridor outside.
Oh my god.
So yeah, great scenes happening here in the Diamond Days house, and you're gonna be hearing all about it for the next little while. So it's gonna be pretty cool. Now,
For sure.
also in the news.
Want me to do that again?
Also in the news, Willie,
Yeah.
come up with a conversation topic. I can't think of anything. He's meditating.
Oh, that's Bumblewary.
Oh, that's Bumble Wario. We briefly experienced when I crashed Sally's stream the other day. I've been obsessed with this one soundbite of Video Game Donkey playing Mario Kart World, and he unlocks the B Wario skin, and he's like, "What is this?" And he goes, he's Bumble Wario. There's something about the way he says it that just really gets inside my head. There's a lot of things like that, like Cow from Mario Kart World just makes me smile and like feel all giddy and happy whenever I think about it. Like Cow, you know, Cow is the reason why the NPC characters are in Mario Kart World. Because while they were coming up with I read about this last night. While they were coming up with the roster of new characters, like we need to add some new characters, who should it be? And then someone just drew the cow. One of the concept artists just drew Cow in a cart on Moo Moo Meadows, and they were like, they all just said that's really funny, and they just went with that because it made everybody laugh. And then they added like Pokey and the crab and everything like that because they were like, yeah, why not? Why not just have all of the NPCs in cars? That would be funny.
That was a good addition.
I think it's great. I think it's really good. That's my Kami-ushi.
I mean, it is also Mario Kart
Can
World,
you
so
see?
that does make the most sense to have
Yeah.
access to every character available.
Oh,
True.
You know what's a good topic? Like, you know, we haven't had the podcast in like what, 8 months?
Yeah.
Like, what was different from then compared to now?
The internet.
Good internet.
The good internet.
A better setup.
Yeah.
He's working pretty well,
To
no?
be fair, I think with like I've got my whole like audio interface and set up here, so I think we have the potential to have a better audio setup here, and we've got like the projector here. So maybe what we could do is have like have that
Oh,
up,
true.
have chat up there, and then you could be like, "Hey, Jimmy, pull that up," and then I could put something on the thing.
Yeah,
It's
we
like,
could just have something on the
"Hey, you
projector.
guys hear about that monkey that did that thing? Hey, Jimmy, pull that up, and then I pull up a funny monkey video.
Oh, true. We could just do that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, we could totally just do that.
Okay, I like it.
You know, people like still quote the podcast to this day. Like there's a lot of things that we say on that Anyway, there's a lot of things that we there's a lot of things that we said on that podcast that are still quoted to this day.
It became. I feel like Diamond Days was really popular among our own fans, like while it was coming out. But then I think since then, a lot of those clips have sort of like gathered a lot of genuine interest, which is why a lot of people are excited to see it come back. And I'm really excited about that too. You know, my favorite was our good buddy Vanta. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know.
The way, I feel like it worked because you gave so much warning. You were like, no, I can't say this. I can't say this. And it was like, no, listen. Instead of lifting up men, I put down women. So everybody, you know, any women in the audience, this Pride Month, remember that you should be proud of yourself and love yourself, even if Vanta doesn't want you to.
Hey! I told that one person to not text back their ex. Okay, I did good. I did good.
See, that's crazy, right?
You don't need attention from a man.
You don't need attention from a man. See, that's it, because I saw that tweet first, and I was like, I'm gonna text my ex back if Vanta doesn't reply to this. So she just wants attention from a man. Regardless, no matter what the outcome, she will be begging a man for attention. And that's not on Pride Month. I don't want to see anything like it. Okay? Listen. There are many, many, many people in this world, and your ex is only one of them. Okay? It's like, I know that maybe it's difficult to think about the prospect of finding new people to love and spend time with, but literally, here's what I do, right? If ever I feel sad about, you know, maybe someone's out of my league, or I've been rejected or something like that, I just think, no, they're not all that. I just think that in my head, and then I'm like, yeah, you know what, they're not, and then I move on, because there's literally billions of potential people that you could wind up spending the rest of your life with.
True.
So why lose your mind over just one of them? All right.
Yeah, I mean, in my case, I've just rejected so many women that I don't know. But, you know, everybody has different experiences.
I like to imagine, like, someone very earnestly comes up to you and says, hey, so, you know, I just wanted to say, like, you know, I really enjoy spending time with you, and I was wondering if maybe you'd want to grab coffee with me sometime. And you look over with, like, the low-tier god lightning in your eyes, and they instantly just get fried to a crisp and blasted across the room.
It's so sad, because if I told you all the stories of me rejecting girls, they are much worse than that. They are so much fucking worse than that.
Do you want to share or no?
Okay, I'll tell you this one before we have to go, because we do have to head out soon. I think the worst one, I have a few, but I think the worst one is very short and sweet. I was talking to a girl on, I can't remember what the app was. It was like, I was on a bunch of dating apps at one point in my life. It was like Plenty of Fish, Bumble,
Oh, that's Bumble.
yeah, Bumble. I was on Tinder, and there was one girl I was talking to. So she lived in. Never mind. I'm not gonna dox her. I mean, I guess a state in America.
She lived at this postcode, this address, this street. You can go see her anytime you want.
Basically, I had to cross the country to go see her, and I talked to her for like a few days, and I was like, you know, I at first I was gonna like be like, ooh, you know, maybe I should just drop this. And then I was gonna dip. But then I was like, you know what, no, I'm gonna communicate. I'm not gonna let this happen like the last time. Yes, there's another story that happened on Final Fantasy 14. We won't talk about that.
Final Fantasy 14?
Yeah. So, but this time I communicated, and I was like, you know what, hey, I'm gonna be honest. This is not gonna work out for me. I don't really wanna do long distance. I'm not really interested in, you know, like doing all this. So I don't know if I wanna talk to you anymore in this way. And she replied and said, do you at least want to be friends? And I said, why?
I mean, you know what you want, you're focused.
And she replied with like a really like surprised emoji, and I didn't say anything else, and that was the last of our conversation.
So, to all the Vanta crew out there, in case you had any delusion about your Oshi being a nice person, that's crazy.
Look, I was just breaking
the typical thing, because they always say, yeah, let's be friends, and then you guys talk for maybe like 1 or 2 weeks, and then eventually you just fade out, and then the conversation ends. I was just being honest. I was cutting out the middleman.
See, here's my opinion. I think that you can be honest without also being rude. I think that you could have, you know what you just said to me? You could have said that to her. You could have said, like, I appreciate that, and you're a great person, but I don't think that I really, I think that this may just turn out to be awkward, and I think I'd rather just kind of leave things off here. I really respect you, but, maybe the kind of straightforward language that you use with the men in your life could also work on the women in your life, because women, believe it or not, Vanta, are people too.
Oh my god. I'm leaving. That's the end of the podcast.
Yeah, we actually have to go.
All right, these guys are gonna head out. I do not, so I will. I'll wrap things up while you guys get everything ready. But thanks very much, everybody, for joining us for the first episode of Diamond Days Season 2. We've touched on Will Smith, we've touched on Vanta's dating history, and we've touched on all kinds of different topics, and you can expect all kinds of great stuff like this in the weeks to come. So thank you very much to Vanta, Willie, Zali, Claude, and Uki. Even though Uki said only one thing and has been asleep this whole time, I appreciate that he has been here and was woken up by this and hasn't made a fuss about it, because I would have made a fuss about it if I was in his position. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful morning from the Diamond Days crew. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.